As someone who has watched hundreds of animes, I've stumbled across some absolute masterpieces. But here's the thing, when I go online and try to talk about them or watch edits, the fandom is basically empty. These are animes that flew under the radar, the kind of shows that deserve way more love than they get. Some are intense, some are emotional, some are just downright insane, but all of them stuck with me long after the last episode. So today, I'm breaking down 10 of the most underrated animes I've ever watched, the hidden gems that every anime fan needs to see at least once. Trust me, you're gonna want to write these down. Kiznaiver. The show centers around Katsuhira Agata, a guy who feels almost nothing, and Chidori Takashiro, who's hyper-emotional. They're part of this social experiment called the Kizuna system, where a small group of teens are physically linked. Whatever pain one person feels, emotional and physical, everyone else feels it too. Imagine a world where emotional trauma is literally shared. What makes it wild is how they dive into empathy and vulnerability. Not just, let's hold hands and get better, but real pain, secrets, and sometimes self-harm. Studio Trigger's animation is weird in the best way. Surreal, sometimes glitchy, but always building this emotional tension. Fans love how the show forces characters to open up, but not in a cheesy way. It's raw, messy, and feels earned. It's one of those shows where by episode 8, you're like, dang, I didn't know they could make me feel this weird. It has an IMDb rating of 7.0. Golden Kamuy. If you're a fan of One Piece and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, this one's for you. The protagonist is Saichi Sugimoto, aka Sugimoto the Immortal, a war veteran who survived the Russo-Japanese War. He meets Asirpa, a young Ainu girl with killer survival instincts, and they team up to hunt for a hidden treasure of Ainu gold. But here's the thing, the map to the treasure is tattooed on the bodies of escaped convicts, so all kinds of dangerous people are after it. Ex-soldiers, yakuza, and survival hunters. What makes Golden Kamuy shine is how it balances brutality, humor, and heart. There are epic bloodbaths, but also episodes where they hunt edible plants or talk about Ainu culture and traditions. Real respect for indigenous lore. The characters are not one-dimensional. Asirpa is smart and principled. Sugimoto is tough, but has a big heart. And the cast of side characters, like the insane sniper Ogata, make the conflict feel massive. People love it because it's educational, but also constantly surprising. It's not just action, it's history, it's food, it's survival. It has an IMDb rating of 8.0. The Fable. Okay, slight caveat, this is more known in some circles, but still underrated in anime list recs. The main guy is Akira, a killer trained from childhood to be the perfect assassin. His boss gives him a wild order: take a full year off, don't kill anyone, and live like a regular person. So he goes undercover in Osaka as Akira Sato, trying to get a normal job, pay bills, hang out, but living normal is harder than killing. What's cool about the Fable is the contrast. Akira is lethal, but when he's off duty, he's hilariously bad at normal life. Then there's Yoko, his partner in crime, who pretends to be his sister, who's way more street smart than him. Their dynamic is tight, both funny and oddly wholesome. The show balances action with slice-of-life moments. Fans love how it humanizes a killer without making him a saint. It's not about redemption so much as someone learning how to just be. The anime version brings that out really well. It has an IMDb rating of 7.7. Btoom. This is one of the most brutal survival anime I've seen. The protagonist, Ryota Sakamoto, is a NEET and one of the world's top players of a combat video game called Btoom, until he wakes up stranded on an island and realizes he's forced to play the real version of that game. The bombs from the game are real. There are other players who are just as dangerous, and you can't trust anyone. Then you meet Himiko, a mysterious girl who's not there to just survive. She has her own agenda, and she's good with bombs too. The way the show uses the game mechanics is smart. It's not just kill to win. Each bomb has a type, and strategy is everything. But what really hits is the psychological side. People betray each other, alliances form, and moral lines blur quickly. Fans love the tension, the cleverness, and the way the characters are forced to confront who they truly are under pressure. It has an IMDb rating of 7.1. Viral hit. This one's super fresh and way more modern. It follows Hoben Yu, a high schooler who's obsessed with streaming. He's not just fighting, he's grinding, creating content, building a brand. The anime shows his hustle to climb the NewTube ladder, like YouTube but anime style. And it doesn't sugarcoat the toxicity or mental cost of making videos for clout. There's competition, beef, and a ton of strategy, and Hoben has to figure out whether he's doing it just for fame or something more. What people love is how real it feels. The show nails the creator grind, it shows burnout, and it doesn't glamorize everything. Side characters like other streamers, managers, and rivals are layered. Some genuinely care, others are just backstabbing. The animation style is modern. The pacing fits the creator life, and it's surprisingly emotional when Hoben questions who he really is beyond the screen. If you're into internet culture and want an anime that geeks out over streaming plus fights, this is the one. It has an IMDb rating of 7.1. High Card. High card is like if secret agents and magical card games had a baby. The main lead is Finn Oldman, an orphan who's trying to save his orphanage. He's scrappy, smart, and not afraid to hustle. In this world, there's a secret deck of X playing cards. Each card gives its user a unique power. Finn accidentally ends up with one of these cards, the Two of Spades, which lets him summon a loaded revolver and even conjure extra bullets. Then there's Chris Redgrave, a suave, well-dressed agent type who has the Five of Hearts card, which can heal him by burning calories. And you've got power players, mafia-like families, secret organizations, and royal stakes all tangled in this card war. What people really dig about high card is the mix. It's not just cards equals power. There's conspiracies, strategy, and character drama. The animation is clean, the fights are slick, and the card powers are creative. If you ever thought X-Men but cutthroat plus gamble, this is it. It has an IMDb rating of 6.7. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. If you're an Attack on Titan fan, this one's for you. This is definitely one of the most visually intense shows on this list. You've got Ikoma, this brilliant but underestimated engineer who literally modifies his body so he can fight the Kabaneri, undead creatures whose hearts are covered in iron, so normal weapons don't work. Then there's Mume, a young fierce fighter who can move at lightning speed, and she's got her own tragic backstory. They're all stuck on fortress-like steam-powered trains called iron fortresses, constantly trying to outrun or fight off Kabaneri attacks. The zombies here feel brutal and horrifying, and the show's action sequences on the train tracks are insane. But beyond the action, there's also politics and class. Some people in the fortress privilege themselves, others are just trying to survive, and trust is rare. Fans who compare it to Attack on Titan are not wrong. The sense of inside a fortress under siege is very similar, but Kabaneri gives you that steampunk flavor plus non-stop tension. It will make your heart race. It has an IMDb rating of 7.2. Summertime rendering. This one messed with my head in the best way. The main character is Shinpei Ajiro, who returns to his childhood island hometown after his friend Ushio Kofune dies under mysterious circumstances. But this isn't just a go-home grieve story. There's time loops, shadowy figures, and this sense that something is deeply wrong with the island. Shinpei soon realizes he can rewind to previous days, and he starts using this to figure out what's causing weird disappearances and murders. There's Mio, his friend who gets wrapped up in it, a powerful figure with secrets, and other townsfolk who may or may not be hiding things. The show feels like a horror thriller mixed with sci-fi and emotional weight. It's not just solve the mystery, it's about Shinpei's guilt, grief, and what he's willing to sacrifice to fix things. Fans love the plotting, the character growth, and how every loop matters. By the end, you'll feel like you've lived it with him. It has an IMDb rating of 8.2. Terror and Resonance. This one is so underrated. It follows 9 and 12, two mysterious teenage terrorists in Tokyo who start executing cryptic attacks. But these two don't feel like standard villains. They're traumatized, brilliant, and motivated by something deeper than just chaos. There's also Lisa Mishima, a high school girl who accidentally gets roped into their world, and Shibazaki, a detective trying to stop them. As the story unfolds, you realize their terrorism is a statement, not just about violence. It's a protest, a scream at society, and a way to get people to look. The show's direction brings this dreamy, melancholic vibe, and the soundtrack is chef's kiss. What people love is how stylish and cerebral it is. Yeah, bombs and puzzles, but also heartbreak, regret, and the idea that trauma can make someone do something desperate but meaningful. It's not just blow up stuff, it's blow up your complacency, please listen. It has an IMDb rating of 7.8. Another. This horror gem is straight up creepy from the jump. Koichi Sakakibara, a transfer student, joins class 3-3 and immediately senses something off. There's also Misaki Mei, a quiet girl with an eye patch who walks around carrying a doll. Slowly, Koichi learns about a cursed class. Every year there's an extra dead student nobody can identify, and calamities start happening. Students die in weird, gruesome ways. The show leans into that slow burn dread. Not every jump scare, but this constant weight of something bad will happen. Deaths aren't random, they follow a pattern, and the class must figure out who this extra is before more people die. What's terrifying is how normal things like a cough or a fall turn into signs of the curse. Fans dig how the anime builds tension, how it reveals its mysteries piece by piece, and how Mei is both tragic and eerie. It's not flashy horror, it's more about atmosphere, and that creeping fear that your classmates might be more than what they seem. It has an IMDb rating of 7.5. Alright, so that's the list. These shows are not your typical everyone's watched it picks. Some are weird, some are dark, some make you think, but that's why they're special. If you want something to actually feel, to challenge, to surprise, pick one of these. And when you finish, hit me and I'll recommend even more under the radar bangers. If you made it this far, you're clearly a die-hard anime fan like me, so go ahead and subscribe.